All right, we are live. Welcome to another episode of Monday Night Live on the 10 Horse Monty YouTube channel. And we got lightning in the
Stormy Monday
background.
night.
Stormy Monday night. I was out on the lake today. Freaking fog, crazy fog all day long. I mean, like idle. I never got up on pad, and I was hearing boats come towards me, and I had my little pole light on. I left it on most of the day, and several times the boats come up within like 20 yards before they finally see me and they peeled off. But
It's kind
it was
of
a
freaky,
madhouse.
isn't it?
It's scary. It's eerie out there. It's like it's a whole other world out there in the fog. I mean, if there's one thing that makes me nervous on the water, it's fog. Even on the little lake I was on. I mean, it's like a 10 horsepower lake, so nobody's really flying down the lake, but it's still
but 25 still hurts.
It's still sketchy.
If somebody runs over you at 25, it's
and then trying to get back to the boat ramp, it's like I'm watching my graph, but it's still I keep wanting to go towards the bank,
right?
For whatever it's like, it's pulling me towards the bank.
It's amazing how I've fished that lake all of my life, and so have you. So I know every nook and cranny on that lake, but I can run out of the boat ramp and in fog immediately be lost.
Yeah.
And still looking at my graph, I'm like, I don't have a clue where I'm at.
Fog will spin you out. It'll disorient you.
Sure.
I don't care how many times you've been in it messes with you. We're visual creatures. We need to see like some land or some kind of visual reference.
It screws with your casting too.
Yeah, it does. It's really strange. And then there was a bunch of seagulls flying around, but you couldn't see them. You could hear like it sound like a.
Sure wasn't ducks. Could have been ducks.
No, I saw over 100 seagulls at one point. And I was running across the lake and I almost ran into them.
You didn't Randy block it in them and like.
No, man. No, I slowed down. I mean, I wasn't really running that fast anyway.
Gotcha.
It is what it is, but I survived.
Who do we got on the other end tonight?
So on the other end, we have Joey and Jason and Connor.
Hi.
All Crocky Gator folks, and it's good to have you on here. Thanks for spending the evening with us. Looking forward to talking about upcoming stuff in the Crocky Gator world.
Yeah, super exciting. Got lots of good stuff going on.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Got to pay attention. Yes. Going to have a great stream tonight. I posted a question before we went live, and it was, what's the deepest that you have ever caught a bass? So deepest water you have ever caught a bass in. And Polbender said,
I love
10 foot.
10 foot.
32 foot for Daniel. Where's old Ron? Is Ron on here? Let's see. Ron. 25 feet for Stephanie. 35 for Tom. 50 foot at Goldeneye. Dang, that's impressive, Doug. Jesse, 18. What about you, Connor? What's the deepest fish you ever caught?
I was actually just having this conversation with someone earlier today, so it's kind of crazy you asked that. I think 77 foot one time on Table Rock. Wow. And it was like the first time out I went like deep vertical fishing just all day to try to figure out how to do it. And I was like, oh, look, I think there's a fish. And I dropped down. It was like the first fish I ever caught fishing that way back in the day. It was the deepest one I've ever caught. I still remember how long it took my drop shot to fall down to that fish, too. It took forever. But
the reason we posed that question, we got to spend some time at Bull Shoals this past week.
Nice.
So
you caught your deepest fish.
82 feet.
Was it 82 feet? Yeah.
I could believe that.
We were fishing. So the shallowest fish we caught that day was in 55 foot of water.
Yeah. That's
so that would have been my deepest fish, period. 55 feet. I mean, I'm like 20 max, but
yeah,
it was wild dropping on fish. And
what about the person I was discussing this with today? Has told me like a lot of times before that, like on Table Rock especially, a lot of times he thinks like the bigger ones even live deeper than that. He's caught them in like 90, and he told me he's caught one in 100 before, but I don't know about that.
I mean, we saw fish in 90 plus foot of water on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Joey, what's the deepest fish you ever caught, Joey?
2 foot of water.
2 foot of water. You're one of those shallow anglers.
Actually, it might have been more shallow than that. So the tournament that I fished in with Jack Uxa, we stopped because you were talking about the fog and it was like super dangerous. I was super scared to like be like out in a boat in that type of fog. And so we pulled off to this little like dock, and my very first cast with the X-Toad, I freaking caught my very first fish, like first cast on the X-Toad. It might have been in like more shallow water because I'm sure like it hit the bank probably. And like it was pretty awesome. It was pretty cool.
You got spoiled right off the bat.
Yeah, I did. And then I didn't catch a fish the whole day.
Well, so that was your first cast, right, Joey?
Yeah.
That was the first bass I've ever caught.
What's your first cast of the morning?
And it was I heard that's bad luck.
Bad luck.
You got to shake
my
that one off.
sister Jessica told me that. She's like, "Oh, you're fucked."
You got to press the drag. No bananas in the boat and no fish on the first cast.
I make my first cast out in the middle of the lake and just
get it out of the way.
Burn it up.
Honestly, though, if I'm in a tournament and I catch a 5-pounder on the first cast,
it won't be the first cast because I'll flip a lure out like before takeoff and just reel it in, get that first cast out of the way.
Listen, I lived and died by that X-Toad. I threw that thing all day long, and Jack was like, "Just keep throwing it, just keep throwing it." And I was like, "But my arm hurts, and he's like, "Keep throwing it, keep throwing it." Oh my God!
That's how the top water is. You got to keep it in your hand all day long.
It was tough. It was not easy. It's not easy.
By the way, we've got a good crowd in here already, and it's going to keep growing. We are going to be doing a Crocky Gator giveaway tonight. And if you're new to the stream, the way that works is sometime during the stream, I will make a reference to Sasquatch, or Jonathan will, or somebody will. When that happens, guess a number between 1 and 200. And whoever guesses that number is going to win a prize package for tonight's stream. And if you've won the Crocky Gator giveaway in the past, please let somebody else win it. Just be fair, like kind of pay it forward, pass it forward. So that's going to be coming up shortly. And Joey, you acquired Crocky Gator not too terribly long ago, and you've done great things with it. Give us a little bit of background about you, like where are you from, what's your history, that kind of thing.
So I live in the St. Louis area. I come from a background of, I was a stay-at-home mom until my kids were probably like 10. Owen is 15 now and Max is 11. So then I went back into like working in orthopedics. So I worked for an orthopedic surgeon. I would schedule surgeries, suture removal, assist in like some sort of capacity, not in the OR, but like in clinic whenever we saw patients. So it just got to be too much whenever I had to take the kids back and forth to sporting events. So then I became a stay-at-home mom again. And then my sister called me and was like, "Hey, Crocky Gator's up for sale. I know that Andrew has always been interested, who is my husband, who fishes but doesn't tournament fish." And we go way back with Jim and Denise. My sister Jessica runs the Fitz Camdenton store out at Lake of the Ozarks. And Justin, my brother-in-law, Justin Swast, he used to be a buyer for Dunn's. So, is everything okay over there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. They're messing me up here. They're still going to use the ice maker right while I'm trying to talk.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We have dogs barking, and lightning, and fans, and
it's happening.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
All right. So anyway, when Jessica called me and said that Crocky Gator was up for sale, we were like, we're in. So mainly the guys were in because like give me a pole and a freaking bucket of crickets and I'll fish all day long. Like that's what I like to do. So the guys decided they wanted to buy it and I was like, okay, I'm down. So we bought it and they both have jobs. So it was like, well, it looks like you're running it. So pretty much everything I do, like, I feel like I'm either like 0 or 100. There's no like middle area for me. So I just felt like going all in. And that very first tournament that I went to, it was at the Lake of the Ozarks. I think it was a Toyota, and like Mark McWaz up on the stage, and he's like totally, I just love that guy. He's like my favorite announcer ever. And he's totally just like working the crowd, loving life. I'm like, dude, this is my thing. So I'm like in the front row and I'm like, yes. Like when my team goes across, like anybody from Crocky Gator that went across, I was like, yeah. And he's like, who's that lady in front? I'm like, I own Crocky Gator. So yeah, that's my story. So, and it hasn't stopped since. So
it's tough.
It's been a wild ride for sure. So
is it when you got involved with the company, what are some of the, like, what are the biggest surprises that you found? Is it more work than you thought, or did you expect it to be that much work? I'm sure there's been like a learning curve in the whole process.
Yeah, I thought I was going to have a little bit more time for a learning curve. So we bought the company in October, and I would go out to Jim and Denise's and learn the business, fill orders with them. And Jim's like, I promise it's not going to be this busy. It's not going to be this busy. You know, winter, it slows down. It did not slow down at all. So I felt like when we hit the ground, it was like we hit the ground running like crazy. Like we never really had a slow time. So I was honestly just winging it. I was, my brother-in-law, I talked to him all the time. I would call him all the time. Connor has replaced Justin Swast. So now I call Connor about 8 times a day, and I'm like, hey, yo, what do you think about this? And he's like, oh my God, stop calling me.
So he's your go-to guy that you run stuff by.
He is. Apparently he's been cooking baits in his microwave since he was 5 or something. So I don't know. Apparently he knows a little bit about tackle. That's what he said.
Did you ever do that?
Oh my God, I did.
That was stinky job, isn't it?
That was a big mistake. I did it in my parents' basement with no ventilation, like the first time on a little propane stove with an old pot, and probably about killed myself with all the fumes. But
I'm pretty sure my mom, I don't think my dad really cared, but my mom and my sister probably still hate me. I'm really surprised I got a Christmas present from them last week due to all the stinky fishing lures and shoot.
I mean, microwaves
dye all over couches and car seats and whatnot back in the day. Yeah, all that happened. All a true story.
Did you ever make your own lures?
Back in the day, I've done that since I was like 7 or 8, probably. Yeah. Pouring jig heads, making worms, all that stuff.
I actually would design them out of like modeling clay and then pour plaster Paris over the top of them.
I tried that one time, but now we got a little ace in the hole here with Crocky Gator, and that's
it was absolutely terrible. I will say
some awesome molds, I'll tell you.
We do have a little ace in the hole. Do we need to talk about that before you and Suzanne want to leave?
Pouring baits in the microwave. Yeah. So one thing I learned, the little dowel pins that held my mold together, you can't leave them in a little glass jar because they will explode. As I have scars on my arm, as probably everybody that knows, if you get that stuff on you, you just have to let it cool off. You can't wipe it off. It just smears and burns worse. So, but anyway, yeah, that's what happened. It blew up and went all over my arm and scarred my arm. But yeah, that's it's fun. I did it non-ventilating for a while too, and then I bought one of those masks to keep.
So are you gonna die soon of cancer?
No, I'm good.
All right,
I'm good.
I
remember one time my sister at Thanksgiving, she threw some hot mashed potatoes across the table at me, and it stuck on the side of my cheek. And it reminds me of the plastic that you're talking about. It was super painful. Left a nice spot.
You have to burn really bad. Ow.
It was very hot. Yeah. Very hot.
Yeah. So it was on me, and it was burning. I was trying to shake my arm. So I just reached down and tried to smear it, of course, and the skin and everything just went with it.
Battle scars, man.
You feel like Ricky Bobby
a little bit
whenever he's on fire or he thinks he is and he can't get it off of him with hot plastic.
Except I still had my clothes on.
That's good.
I would hope
Sorry.
you'd melt plastic with at least a t-shirt on or something. This is gonna get sideways real fast.
I almost had to change underwear the other day talking about So Del Coven on Bull Shows.
I know exactly where you're going.
He's notorious for back. You guys have been to Bull Shows. It's steep, right? The boat ramp's steep and long, just like Table Rock. He's notorious for backing down the boat ramp at like at least 20 miles an hour. I'm not kidding you. And the first time I fished with him, he scared the crap out of me. Well, this time Jonathan was up in the cab with him. I'm in the back of the boat. And I could see him smiling in the rearview mirror. And I thought, oh, crap.
Here we go.
He's smiling. I could see his big old teeth. He cannot wait. But he goes backing down the boat ramp at least 20 miles an hour.
Oh, I even offered to back down that day. I was like, you may back you in. He was like, no, you got to see this.
And he was swerving. And we get all the way down, almost going to plunge in the water. And he slows down. And Jonathan jumps out just laughing his ass off. And I'm just kind of like puckering up. And
so
I asked you for a spare pair of underwear, but you didn't have any. So
most people, just let off the brake to back down the ramp, right? I mean, we've all backed down the ramp thousands of times. He hits the gas pedal. Kid you not, he hits the gas pedal to back down the ramp.
It's scary. It's scary, and he's swerving too. I think intentionally. He's swerving. Yeah. So,
who is this person?
Mr. Del Colvin. He's a guy. He's a guide on Bull Shows. Great guy.
I got it.
Great.
Is he on Bull Shoals boat deck?
He guides out of that area. He doesn't guide out of that dock, but that's the ramp that he puts in that area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can check him out. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's a great guide on Bull Shows. If you guys are looking for somebody to jump in the boat with, super fun. You'll catch fish and you will laugh all day long.
Nice.
100% promise.
I like people like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
My cheeks hurt after that day.
Not so serious.
And I'm ready to go back.
We had fun. Let's ask a few or answer a few fishing questions, and then we'll get more into the Crocky Gator stuff. I'd like to dive into the X-Toad here shortly. Hemi said everyone's opinion on fishing dense fog in the winter, and that's what we experienced today. I didn't like it at all, man. I think Ron was out there, and Ron said it was pretty tough on him. I don't know. It was strange. So the surface temp, like on my back transducer, which sits right up on top of the water, was 49, and I saw 50 right towards the end. Yes, I know. I saw 50. My live scope transducer, which always reads a couple degrees cooler, was showing like 42 to 44. So I think that surface temperature had warmed up overnight, and that's why there were so many bluegill and stuff in that shallow grass. They were right on the bank. There was all kinds of activity, but I couldn't get them to bite, and the deep bite was non-existent. So I'm not a fan of fog in the winter for sure. Connor, what's your thoughts on winter fog?
As far as the fishing goes, I don't really know. I would just treat it just like any other cloudy day. The only thing I worry about is just driving in it, to be honest. That's kind of scary. At least in the wintertime, there's not a ton of people out driving around everywhere. So
that's true. That's true.
But other than that, I would just treat it just like any other cloudy day, I guess.
You get a day that's 65, though, like we had today, and everybody wants to get on the lake. They forgot it was frozen last week, and the water temperature is still low 40s.
Yeah.
So,
what about you, Jason? Have you experienced that at all?
I'm with Connor on that. I don't. As far as the fog in the winter, to me, if you get that warm rain, that could change everything. Obviously, with run-in, cooling the surface temperature off, but the fish just scatter a little bit with them clouds. So I know a couple guys that was on Lake of the Ozarks today, and they said it was really tough. So, but that lake's not been fishing very well for a while. So.
Did I drop out?
Okay, so we won't talk about winter fog anymore. I don't know what happened. I guess it's the thunderstorm in the area. I don't know what
Did
happened.
I drop out? Was that
No,
me?
you dropped out.
Yeah, it just went blank for a little bit. We're back now. We're back. It'll continue. There'll just be a little void there. So
Is it raining here?
Oh, it's pouring outside.
Yeah, we got a pretty nasty little thunderstorm moving through the area.
Really raining hard down south.
Yeah. Hey, look, Connor's in a different area of the screen now.
Yes.
I'm on top now.
We
Don't
rotated.
stop.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back now. Let's dive into the X-Toad since Jason's here. I know he had a little bit to do with that. How did the X-Toad come about? Like, what's the process? Like from paper to water? How does this all work?
I'm gonna let Connor talk for like 2 seconds, and then I'm gonna start. Then I'm gonna tell him wait, because I have to interject. So go ahead, Connor. What were you doing when you thought about the X-Toad?
Okay, so I was missing some fish on a buzz bait with a frog on it is exactly what happened there. So it was actually this June on Truman Lake. I started off with a buzz bait and missed like the first 3 fish, and all 3 of them basically bit the tails off my frog on there. So I was like, man, that'd be really cool if we can make some kind of bait that would house a trailer hook and make it efficient while you're throwing it. So I got a hold of Joey here, and I was like, hey, I think I got a really good idea for the.
Yes. Okay. So I get this call from Connor, right?
That's it. That's all you get. That's it. You're done.
That's it. You're done. So I get this call from Connor. He's like, I got this really great idea. Like, I've never fished. Like, I knew I had a buzz bait. I knew I had all that. But I've never fished with a horny toad, right? Because I just never have. So I don't know anything about frogs, like their anatomy, how you rig it, whatever you do with it. So like every day, like whenever he would call me, he'd like, you have this great idea. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. And you put this hole here, and then this goes here, and then this goes inside this hook, and then this hook goes inside here. And I'm like, okay, I got it. Let me call. I'm gonna call the dude. I'm gonna get on the phone with him, have him like render some drawings. We're gonna get this taken care of. End of story. Okay. So the next day, I'd call him back up. I'm sure he was like, yes, she's calling me back. We got this going. I'm like, so wait a second. You got to run through this again. How do I do this? Like, what's happening? Where's the hole at? Like, where's, like this, like Groundhog Day happened for probably like 7 days, maybe. Do you think? Was it close? Higher?
It was longer than that.
What up?
Yeah.
By the end of it, he made me go down and grab a bunch of stuff, and like he had me like, I was like slowly, like he was sending me a picture, like picture by picture, like this is how this is gonna look, and then this is the way it's gonna look. And so then I was like, oh, I do understand. And then go ahead, Connor.
So yeah, after that, Jason got a hold of the idea and put his expertise into the X Frog. And I think we made 1 prototype mold with 1 change. Is that right? Yep. And then we had the bait. It was like a month-long process, and then the bait was in my hands to actually use. And then I think it was maybe a month or 2 after that, and we had it on the shelf. So it was a really, really fast process. And with Jason's help, putting in some of his input, it turned out even better than I'd really even started out thinking with. So
the cool thing about it is that whenever we would tell somebody about this idea, they would be like, they had asked me, several people, and I think several people asked Connor probably as well, and I think you as well, if we were going to patent it. So, and I've heard all the like horror stories about like patenting a bait, like in the fishing industry, like the $1 million chatterbait, like patent, all this different stuff. So I was like, well, I could at least reach out to some people, to some patent attorneys, and just kind of see what they say. So I talked to the first one, and they were like, absolutely, rock solid. I'm like, all right, figuring they were just like wanting my money, whatever. So talked to the second one, the third one, the fourth one. And then by the 5th one, I was like, and they all told me the same thing. They were like, this is something so different that's not on the market that is so different. You have to patent this. And they were like, we can write a rock solid patent for you. So the method of the way you apply the bait is what they said we got there. Your buddy from Eureka Wildcats. Lynn. Nice.
Just try to distract you for a second.
I know. And I'm really bad. I'm like squirrel. So how do I get back on track? What are they talking about? Patent attorneys. Yes. So I talked to some really great patent attorneys that steered us in the right direction. And actually, you're sponsored by YOLOtech, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I work with them. Yeah,
Christian was like instrumental in like convincing me to patent this product. He was like one of the last people I talked to, and I wasn't even calling him about that. I was calling him about something different. And he once he heard about the product, he was like, he said, you don't even know how many people call me a day with ideas that they think they should patent. And I just tell them, don't even do it. Don't even do it. Like, I'm completely honest with people. He said, you should patent this product. He said, here's my attorney's number. Call him right now. And he was like instrumental in like making that whole thing happen. Christian was. So he's a cool dude. I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I've had several conversations with him.
Yeah.
He's got a good product too. Good product. Yeah. I use that YOLOtech, that Power Stick 53 every week. It's just been a staple on the back of my boat for sure.
Yeah, it's a great design. It's really cool. He's pretty cool dude. So
yeah.
So that's
okay. So you had the ideal based on a situation that was coming up where you're missing bites on a toad. Now you put the ideal on paper. I know, Connor, you probably worked it over 1,000 times in your head. What's the best way to go about this? You and Joey obviously bounced it off each other, and then Jason comes in to play. So where did Jason come in? What's his side of the deal over there?
Yeah, so when I had I think Jay Beff actually gave Joey my number.
The first people I dealt with did not work out. So
yeah,
I was given Jason's name from a trusted friend, Jay.
Yep. And so we got on a conference call, me and her and Connor. And honestly, when he said what he wanted to do, I knew exactly what he was talking about. And like he said, after that, I mean, literally within a few days, we had it 3D modeled and sending pictures and drawings and stuff. And so I think the background of fishing my entire life helps you understand, what he's looking for. And so my background's machining and engineering and all of that stuff. So I can draw in 3D. I can machine 3D. I build molds. I've worked for Toyota and a lot of different places in my life. And so it just kind of fits what I've done. And so, like I said, when he told me that, I was like, oh yeah, this is a really good idea. And so the question was, how are you gonna rig that hook? How are you gonna get it through there? How are you gonna make all those line up? And I think that after the first go around, I think all we did was move the hole and change the belly. I'm pretty sure that's all we did. That's all. And if you look at it, you can see the little hump on the top. That's just extra support for that trailer hook not to tear out when you're. I went to a different style of plastic that's really tough. I've had people tell me they've caught 15 or 20 bass on one toad, and if anybody fished the other one, they know that don't happen. So that was my part in it. And then I built a couple production molds, and we've been pouring all the toads off of that since.
I think I was super shocked whenever because the other people I had talked to said that it would be months, and the price of it was going to be extremely high. So they didn't even really kind of like entertain the idea. So whenever Jason did this within like a week, I was like, oh my God, like what just happened? Like it was pretty cool. So after the Toad came out and we released it, we discussed that it would be super awesome if Jason has made baits, you know, and he's had baits out. Some of them we decided to bring over to Crocky Gator. But we decided that the way that he could best serve us would be taking my pros, since we have 4 of them going into the MLF, taking my guys, working with them on baits, innovative baits. I don't want to be, I mean, you see soft plastic companies out there everywhere, and they're all making the same thing. A brush hog, like name them all. What are they all? Like everybody's copying every single bait. Yeah. Like there's no, like, I don't want to be known for that sort of company. Like if I am, I'm not going to do it. So we just came out with this killer ass bait. It's okay. Killer butt bait.
No, sorry. Roll with it. You're good.
Okay. I think that one's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, that one's okay.
Anything under 4 letters, you're good, Joey. I'm limited to 1 word now.
Okay. All right. So where was I?
You said ass. That's what you said.
Killer ass.
Right.
You said killer ass bait.
Killer ass bait. Okay. I'm like, we're not going to do anything else unless it's killer, right? So that's when we kind of like decided that his strengths, I mean, obviously he can pour the baits, he can come up with anything he wants, whatever. But I think that his strengths are in the drafting and the CAD design and all of the drawings that have to be done and the renderings and then the testing process. And we thought that we could do some really cool stuff with our pros who are traveling to different lakes, who are going to need different products probably at every lake, different colors. And we're going to be able to provide that for them. So we're super excited about it. So I feel like it's something that doesn't happen to a lot of like, especially entry level, not that Connor's an entry level fisherman, but entering his first year into the MLF. This doesn't happen to guys.
He's a rookie on the Invitationals.
Yeah, right. Like this doesn't happen to people like him. Like it happens to the Brandon Poliniks or, you know, those type of guys. Like some people are never going to get to design a bait and have it come out. And so I think it's really cool. It's something cool that Crocky Gator is going to be able to offer. And I'm really looking forward to that. So
for sure.
Jason, you stuck with me. For life.
Yeah. So the production modes, Jason, that's is that like a silicone mode? How's that work?
No, it's 100% aluminum.
Okay.
All aluminum. Yep. Yeah, with machining my whole life, it was just easier for me to do it out of aluminum because it's super easy to machine anyway. And then I could pour however many I wanted off of it. And, you know, depending on how many I'm going to use, how many cavities I put in it, or how many, I'll make multiple molds of the same thing to rotate them out. But I didn't know if you wanted to go into the.
I don't have a X-Toad in here somewhere. Go grab one. I'll show you the X-Toad since we're talking about it. Here's a question from Daniel. He says, looking at the X-Toad, how well does the gray one work? It's a color you never see in a toad. I've thrown a gray toad is one of my favorite colors. I've caught a lot of fish on a gray toad. It looks just like a shad. So I'm sure the gray. What's your best selling color so far on the X-Toad?
For sure, black. Which is interesting to me because that's an interesting question from that guy, because the belly of a frog, aren't they gray?
Depends.
Most of the time?
Most of them are white.
I thought the gray would be like, are most of them white?
Most of them are white.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well,
Is it? Yeah.
I thought they were gray.
I think that's it.
I'm gonna have to go out and do some toad research.
It's probably the wrong time of year.
Oh,
Yeah, they're in the mud right now. Grab the pack too, if you can find it. Okay.
they're in the mud.
So yeah, the gray one looks like a shad, and especially on cloudy days.
There you go.
There's the gray one.
Yeah, pull it out. I'm gonna turn these backlights on real quick.
Connor, should we make him rig this up like you had to do on the other podcast?
I'm not rigging it up. I messed it
Absolutely.
up last time I tried.
He's done this like a lot though. He's a lot better at it than I am.
Are you talking about Gabe?
I'm just a rookie and a first year guy doing this. So
Seriously? Oh my god.
Here you go.
No, so
They're putting you on the spot. You got to rig one up now.
Okay, let's rig one up.
You want to do yellow?
Yeah, yellow shows up better.
All right.
So according to
Let's have Connor walk you through it. I mean, this got the pro that designed it.
right, okay. So we have the X Toad right here for you guys at home that haven't seen it yet, and it does have that little hole right there. That's the hole you were talking about.
Right.
And this is the
You get nervous now.
I'm getting nervous, man. I've never done this before. I
sweating.
feel like I'm making a YouTube video, but I can't edit it. If I screw up, I'm like, everybody's watching me. Oh my God.
Right?
this
Don't
is
cuss. Don't cuss. Don't do it.
Exactly. So this is the X Bite buzzbait, which is designed for the X Toad. And the thing I did wrong last time I was talking about it, and what Harlan said, is he slides the trailer hook in there first. It's made to house a trailer hook and keep it out of the legs, basically. I guess is that so Connor, the whole purpose of this hole, talk about that a little bit more for me before I rig it up.
it's just a way to line it up on the bait, just to provide, I guess, a housing for it to hold the trailer hook square. It's about the same size as the eye of a 2 or 3/0 gun. We got 2 trailer hooks, so it just holds it in there and it gives you a starting point. So everything's lined up perfectly on a X Bite buzz bait, or other ones for that matter.
You take the hook point and come in the hole first and thread it on there. So the eye, the eye and the hole are lined up for the most part. Is that right?
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
So you do that before you rig it on the buzz bait.
Absolutely.
Right. So then you're just going to just rig it up on there like you would just thread a toad up on there.
You must not have a trailer.
And I don't have a trailer hook, but theoretically there will already be a trailer hook in there, and you're just going to come up through that hole and you'll go through the eye of the trailer hook. The hook point will go through the eye of the trailer hook. So when you slide it up,
I just ordered a bunch off Tackle Warehouse, but I don't
it's ready to rock and roll. And I got it a little bit. I got a little bit of a
Got a little sideways.
a little bit sideways, but that's it.
I'm already rigged.
So this buzz bait is designed for this toad. So it's a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
So it's a knocking. It's like a head knocker. You can bend this arm down and it's gonna hit that head. If you want something a little bit softer on a more calm day, you can just kind of do that right there, and it doesn't knock.
So
one.
Not only did Connor come up with a bait that during the Big Bass Bash, they sold one of the other brand of toad. They only sold one package, and that's because they were completely out of ours. So at the Big Bass Bash, they ran out of the X Toad. So not only did he drive business to this frog, the business for the X Bite has, I would say probably, I don't know if it has surpassed the head knocker, the skirted head knocker buzz bait, but it has certainly given it a run for its money. So he created a bait that drove 2 of our baits like out into the atmosphere. So it's pretty exciting.
It's good stuff. Obviously, there's a a problem that it needed to fill.
What?
David Williams. Click on that one. He said, I viewed the Crocky Gator website. What is their biggest selling category? And then Stephanie Slayton a while ago asked, what is your most popular jerk bait? But you don't sell jerk bait, so jig. So what's the most popular jig and then the product on the website?
So our best-selling jig by far is the Zapper jig. And for some of you Southerners that know, Don Caro, John Sapper was extremely close with Don Caro, and Don was coming up with this bait and couldn't figure out what to call it. And John Sapper walked into the room and he said, I'm going to call this a Zapper jig. So it's kind of named after this guy who's on our pro staff named John, named John. And then the best-selling color is definitely Ozark Craw by far. So it would definitely be the Zapper jig. But Connor's favorite jig is the reaction jig because he likes to go deep.
Likes to make them react.
Yes. Yeah. What's your favorite color to throw, Connor? In the reaction.
Craw. Duh, you just said it.
Duh.
Got a lot of PB. Got the Weesey jig. Somebody's liking the Weesey jig, the TBJ.
Some Weesey love.
What hook are you throwing in there, Connor? In the X toad.
Just a 2-aught Gamakatsu. This is my favorite. You could probably use bigger, but I just have a bunch of 2-aughts, so I just throw them on there and call it good. You could probably even use a 4 or 5-aught if they made one that big. I'm sure they do. The legs on that bait are really thick, all the way down to the kicker tails on it, so it's not going to tangle very often. It's a really, really efficient bait as far as, not getting the legs tangled up really bad whenever you make that perfect cast back behind a dock or whatever. Your bait doesn't come in rolling because the leg got tangled, so you can use as big as you want.
Do you always use a trailer hook, Connor?
Yeah, for the most part.
I know Jim Dill uses a 3-aught on his X-Toad.
What's up, fella?
What's up, Rich?
So Stephanie asked that question if you have to use it. But I think the purpose of that bait specifically would be, I guess you can use it without it, but I guess if you there's some things about it that are different than the other toads on the market. It's it's a little bit bigger.
It's a little bit bigger. Yeah. It works very well just with a standard offset hook. I'm not even on a buzz bait. I know a lot of people do that. It skips really, really well. Then you just, like I said, just do it on a straight offset EWG hook. I think like a 6-aught or something.
That's something that we do around here a lot with these grass lakes. I don't throw a buzz bait a whole bunch because we're fishing in grass a lot. But this toad just rigged up with a big EWG on there, or like a screw lock on the front of that with a little belly weight. It's a great way to fish this toad as well. And
it's a little more subtle than what we normally throw. So
right.
And it's a little different than what everybody's seeing.
And a keeper, kind of for me personally, it's kind of like the same concept as a spinner bait. If I'm fishing around some heavier cover, especially around grass, I would throw this. I do throw this
sparse grass would be great.
Grasses, and I'll be throwing it without a keeper for the most part, unless I'm missing a lot of fish. If I get a couple bites and I miss them, then I'm going to be putting on a keeper or a trailer hook for sure.
So I don't know that I ever hardly throw one without a trailer hook, honestly. And I think Andrew Cap said it on here earlier on a comment. Truman is famous for short striking bass on a buzzbait. So,
yeah. Are you able to read the comments and pay attention
I've seen it
to
pop
this at the
up
same
earlier.
time? Wow.
Amazing. A man that can multitask. It's crazy. I got a one-track mind.
What I'm saying, right?
I tell you what, though, Jason, you made the comment that you don't ever throw one without a trailer. And the only reason when I threw a toad on a buzzbait, the only reason I didn't throw a trailer is because it always got bookered up.
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
That's exactly why
Yeah.
Connor came up with the idea. The toad works great, and then anybody out there that's thrown it and watch that bait come through the water with that toad on there, that buzzbait planes and runs very well on the. You don't get any, sideways on that buzzbait, which also causes you to miss fish. So,
well, I've tried all kinds of things with a trailer hook, whether it was free swinging or putting a piece of like shrink tubing on the eye to try to keep it straight. None of it worked, but it's going to keep it straight because it's buried in that plastic. So,
yeah, and like Connor said, the legs are thicker further out to keep the leg from wrapping up around and catching that trailer hook, which is very frustrating and, like Connor said, very inefficient to keep messing.
Well, and I
with.
can't imagine for like tournament anglers, like how much time of yours, if you're fishing with that sort of bait, how much time does that take to constantly have to do that?
Yeah. That's cast. That's missed cast. That's a lot of cast in a day that you don't get. We just drop.
Well, that skips up underneath docks that are gone now. So
yeah. You make a perfect cast and your legs are messed up.
And you may only have one shot at that if the conditions are wrong.
Yeah. So
I wonder if he realized he fell out.
Yeah. He'll click back on the link here in a second.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we did.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm sure they might be getting a lot of rain down there.
Who's under the Crock Gator name?
I saw that. Who was that?
Somebody. Who is that?
Somebody create an account for you guys?
Burn Todd 90%. Oh, that's Jim. That's Jim. Toad. Jim, you didn't
turn toad 90 degrees before putting it on the keeper.
Awesome. Okay. Yes, he is so smart. Okay.
You should have had Jim on here to
so you're saying
Dang it.
rig it sideways and then roll it over.
Yes. Yes. Please explain that to people again, because I don't know if.
Welcome back.
Not sure what happened there. Sorry.
Got all kinds of fun stuff going on tonight.
Okay, so the first time I ever heard Jim explain this to somebody, mine was like whoosh, like I thought it was super cool, but it wasn't about the toad. It was about something else, a different bait that we were talking about at the Big Bass Bash, and he said right before you slide that bait up, like have it sideways, and then you push it on there sideways and then roll it back over. And I was like, oh my God, that's so smart, because, right, if you shove it on, you're going to have a gigantic hole right there, because the barbs that come out, the keepers that come out.
You're putting a sideways groove in there.
I got it. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. Right. So there's so much to know about this bait. So
what she's saying is have it sideways when you push it on. This one's already kind of tore up here, but when you push it on, then turn it sideways.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys can see
Lock
that.
it on.
Terrible.
Yeah. So kind of like turn it and lock it on. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
You're the best.
He's fished a few days in his lifetime.
Yes. He is so smart. Love that guy.
He's a big chug bug fan, which I like that. Something about a guy that throws a chug bug. Just a lot of character.
Chug bug will build character.
No, chug bug doesn't get any love anymore. It's one of the best poppers.
I'm hitting up Google right now.
For a chug bug.
I tell you what, there's a lot of baits that are out there that don't get any love anymore.
Here's a question for Connor from James Brown. Has Connor ever played with using a Ned rig style bait for a trailer for a more finesse approach?
I cannot say I have, actually. I'd just probably not use one before I did that, I guess. That's against my religion, the whole Ned rig thing. So I've never even made a cast with one of those. So
Connor
I mean, Crocky Gator makes a great one. You guys should all check it out. That's what you like, but it doesn't sink very well on 30-pound mono. So I'm out on that.
Well, there's not really anything finesse about a buzzbait rolling across their heads, is it? I mean,
do you throw a spin? Do you have spinning rod in your boat?
Oh yeah, I like to do some things with the spinning rod, but it's not Ned rigging. I can't make
Ned rig's not one of them.
No, it's not. That's not in the portfolio.
Well, you can throw like a 6-inch stick bait on a Ned rig and call it a Ned rig. That's more like
could.
power.
Was that Jim? Wasn't that Jim that made that comment? Because I asked him, "Does anybody wacky rig a Cinco?" And he said, "Oh, that's a Cinco." Yeah. He said, "I'd rather kiss a dude." I was like, "What?"
Hey, it works.
I mean, I'll throw a jerk bait on a spinning rod. I love doing that. I feel like you can handle fish really well. I just can't Ned rig. Just can't do it. I don't know.
Do it.
Somebody else has had a little bit of experience with that X-Bite buzz bait.
What's up, Chad?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
Dude's been banging up the kayak circuit last year.
He really did. I was down there for that tournament, and he did win 10 grand on that bait. Well, and then Ryan Hopping at the Big Bass Bash, the very first bait that was weighed in of the bash, which I think, Gabe, you know this, the very first fish that was weighed in from a guy named Ryan Hopping, and it held its own for like a couple days, like a day and a half or something, and then it got overshadowed. But yeah, it was the very first fish caught on the X-Toad, and it led for like a day and a half, and then
caught on the trailer hook.
And it was caught on the trailer hook.
Okay, here you gotta have a trailer hook on, folks. Gotta have a trailer hook
on the trailer hook.
Selling that trailer hook for sure.
It's the real deal.
For sure.
That was the craziest Big Bass Bash ever. We had both winners on the stream a while back.
Yeah.
And they tied. It's like,
it was awful.
Yeah, that was a bad deal.
It was super uncathartic.
Okay, I got a question from Bill Haney texted me earlier today, and this is for Jason and for Connor. So when you're in a tournament and you hook a bed fish, if you're bed fishing and you hook that fish outside the mouth, some tournament circuits, you have to release it, right? It's just part of the rules. So if you're live scope fishing and you hook a fish outside the mouth, should you have to release it? Because it's both sight fishing. I'm going to say no. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. That's just
I'm going to say no. I mean, I'm just going to say if you're good enough to snag one with a live scope, like that's pretty impressive in itself. Like, I think it's easier to get the fish to come hit your bait than it is to actually snag one. I think with like a jerk bait and stuff, a lot of times, those fish are making an intent to, hit your bait, and sometimes it just lands weird and you hook them just outside the mouth or something. So I'm going to vote no on that one. I think you should be able to weigh it in that particular instance. For
sure. I mean, anybody that's throwing a jerk bait or an A-rig before live scope, you caught them all the time outside the mouth. I've caught bass, 3-pound bass on an A-rig and had all 3 hooks in their side. So sometimes they just swipe into the ball. And I agree with Connor. If you're good enough to throw out there and snag one on live scope, I'd like for you to hit me up. I'd like to go because that's impressive.
I tell you what, go crappie fishing one time and sit on a school of crappie and
try to snag one.
Just not like, I'm not condoning it, but drop down. And I was doing this yesterday. I set the hook on one I missed at the bottom of the school and never hit another fish on the way up.
Yeah. And that's a school of fish. So
that's a school of probably 300 or 400 crappie.
Yeah.
And I didn't hit one.
So to say you're going to just snag one out of open water, man, you'd have to be real good with the live scope to make that possible. So like I said, it's easier just to go ahead and just catch one than even try to pull something like that off. So
right.
Side fishing though, I mean, geez, those fish, you couldn't probably make one try to actually eat it, and they're mad, they're territorial and all that. So
pretty quick
outside the mouth, it wasn't going to eat it anyway.
Yeah.
Andy's got a good question here.
Yeah, so Andy asked, you all going to be doing demos on how to put the baits on at the Collinsville show?
We just talked about this. I asked him. So Chad Davison is a guy on our pro staff, and he's been doing this thing where I guess it's just like a fish tank, right?
Yeah.
And he's been doing like some demos on that, and it's gone over really well. So we might have to go out and buy a fish tank.
Well, is he talking about actually rigging the baits?
Yeah.
Yeah, just rigging the baits,
Yeah,
not
just showing how to
throwing the
rig.
baits, just
Oh.
rigging the bait.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Just
Yeah,
showing how
we-
to rig the X toad on the X bite, buzzbait, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to make sure we take some trailer hooks up. But yeah, we can.
I bought a
we'll do
bunch.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what Chad's doing with that fish tank. Those little videos are pretty cool.
Oh
He's so I know
Yeah.
he has lots of really great ideas. He's a really good guy. Really good pro staff member for sure.
Speaking of line, Connor, what line are you throwing the buzzbait on?
I just use 50-pound braid most of the time. Just whatever I have left over on my reel. I guess 50 or 65 braid works really good. It's got the twisted line tie, so it's not going to open up or break or anything. So I just go with braid.
Straight braid, no mono in between.
Nope, just straight braid. I figure, if they're line shy, then you're probably in trouble anyway because they're probably going to see the wire. So
Live scope is not sight fishing. I agree. Live scope is the devil.
Listen, okay. I have to say, and I'm probably going to be vilified for this, but I did sit in on that podcast that they did with the Drury Bass fishermen, which I love those Drury kids. They're super cool, super fun. So they challenged him to that debate. You kind of see where he's coming from a little bit, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I do. Like, I get it. I get what he's saying, but also at the same time, like, I do feel like you do have to move forward with, I guess progress has to be made. But I mean, like, I don't totally disagree with the guy. I think he definitely makes good points, but ultimately, I think it comes down to and he made the point that it probably does come down to money. And it probably does. Like, they probably give a lot of money to these tournaments, and so it will probably never change. So
yeah, I don't think it's going to go away. Garmin, Lowrance, Humminbird's got way too much invested in in all of the major circuits, so they're not going away.
Yeah, I see both sides of it, 100%. I mean, I totally understand where Randy's coming from on it, and he's got a big following. A lot of people agree with him.
Sure.
If any of his posts, if you get on there and look at the comments, it's people bashing him or people bashing live scope.
Right.
Correct.
Scoping is not fishing, or scope. If you're not scoping, you're hoping. That's the two models.
You know what? I tell you what, though, after fishing in 90 foot of water and listening to the guy that we were fishing with who fishes that lake every single day say, stop looking at live scope, look at 2D.
Yep. He uses 2D
because you're going to see a lot more on your 2D than you are on your live scope when you're vertical fishing. That was kind of an eye opener.
The live scope is when you're out there fishing deep, when you lose your ball of shad, you put your live scope out there 100, 120 feet, you relocate those shad. And when you get up on those shad, then it's 2D. You're dropping on them and you're really focusing on your 2D. That's kind of how he set things up. But, anybody that has live scope understands that there's no guarantees by any means. It shows you if there's fish in the area. It shows you the cover. It's super handy for just kind of, even if you're bank fishing and you're focusing on visible cover or fishing shallow, it's super handy to kind of pan around and you might see a brush pile that you wouldn't have seen. I use that a lot, make a few casts on that. But the more you use it, it really is just a tool. I don't get hung up on it too much. When you first get it, you're like, you spend hours and hours and hours playing with it. But now it's just something that I'll use for a little bit. There's specific situations where I'll use it a lot more, but a lot of times it's just panning out and you see a little brush pile and you make a few casts. A lot of the times you don't even see the fish. You're just fishing the cover more than you're actually fishing the fish.
That's what happened to me yesterday. I was throwing a jerkbait. I was rolling it over the top of a log and never saw the fish. And then all of a sudden it comes over the top of the log and one comes out and eats it. So,
yeah.
All right. And I would have never known that fish was there, but I would have fished that brush pile or that log just the same. So,
Connor, whenever you fished the All-American, did you use I guess my my knowledge of the whopper plopper is not very, I don't have very much knowledge of that. But is that a bait that, like, would you use live scope for that, or? No.
You'd have to get pretty creative for that. Not saying it hasn't been done before, but I'd say not. Those fish are probably too shallow.
And with how fast you fish, I can just see you being like going crazy up and down the bank.
I saw some. We're talking about a chug bug a while ago. I had a situation a couple of months ago. Well, it's probably like 3 months ago. It was still pretty warm, but there were some stripers blowing up out on in this main lake point. Bunch of stripers, probably 5 to maybe 15 pounders. And I was throwing that chug bug out there, and I could see the chug bug on top of the water because I've got my transducer turned up a couple notches, and I could see those fish following it. So I could see the splash of my topwater bait, and then I'd see the fish come close, and then I'd move it and come close. And they're literally 2 feet under the water, and each time I would move it, it was total cat and mouse. They would come up and they'd nose it, and then finally one would get a little bit too aggressive, and then the one underneath would shoot up and just blow up on it. But I actually saw the topwater bite.
That's gonna be nerve-wracking.
It happened 3 times.
That's gonna be nerve-wracking.
It's hard enough to not jerk it away from a jerkbait fish.
Right.
It's super hard to not jerk it away from a
topwater fish.
Yeah, but it was cool. So you can see that occasionally. You will see that happen.
Jim's got one of those great ideas.
Oh, how fun!
What's up, Jimmy?
Where should we do it? What's that lake that you were talking about, Connor, that catches like a bunch of big fish? You and Andrew were talking about it the other day.
I want to hear about this lake that you catch a bunch of big fish on.
Was it Stockton or Pomme de Terre? I don't know what were you guys talking about.
It's called Table Rock.
There you go. There you go.
Does that mean I'm telling a secret?
No, you're not telling us. No, you're good.
Yeah, because that's not what lake he said.
Probably, I don't know what he said.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. You were lying. You were lying.
Hey, Connor, what rod do you throw in that X-Bite on?
I think the one I use, I think it's like a 7'3". It's a heavy action, is what it says, but it's probably more of a medium heavy. That way you can cast it. But in reference to your question, a 7-footer spurt, I mean, that's fine.
You got to have something that's got a little bit of a tip on it if you're fishing around cover. So,
especially if you're using braid too, you have a little more forgiveness there than using, a broom handle as far as fighting the fish goes and not missing the strike and all that. So,
right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Jason says live scope will let you know how many fish follow your bait.
And how many fish you can't catch.
Yeah. It's real good at that.
It shows
it
that
for sure suck you in and make you waste a bunch of time too. So
that's the secret to live scope, knowing when to leave.
Yep.
It really is.
It shows you how much we really suck.
Well, my thing, I know me and Gabe went fishing one time, but live scope, well, I have active target, but active target and 360. That's what I really like, the combination of those two. I've seen the 360 play more than the live scope lots of times.
See, when I was torn when I was buying all my setup, whether to go with 360 or a forward-facing sonar. I chose forward-facing sonar, but I could see where both of them, especially just offshore fishing, target fishing, because again, we talked about it. A lot of times I just use live scope to find the brush pile so I can make an accurate cast the first time versus just there's where it's at. I know in a general direction, make 6 or 7 casts and then finally hit it. With either one of those, you can hit it first cast.
Hey, I saw some fish. I flashed a couple fish today and they bailed. They bolted out. First time I've really seen that.
Really?
I flashed them and they just,
it's like you shine a flashlight on them in the dark.
They shot to the bottom. Like that hasn't happened to me yet, but it did today. It happened twice. So that makes me nervous. It makes me nervous.
Don't be flashing people.
Awesome.
Lawson says hi.
Oh, hi, Lossie. How are you, boy? My nephew. Also,
so you mentioned
Gabe.
Yes.
I wanted to tell you. So I talked to Brian at Baitworks today about
Yes.
beaver bug. And
Nice.
so I said, Gabe's put up like 3 videos, and I said, I shared the one and I tagged you in it to get you to, to get you guys to push it to buy it. I'm like, he's one of your social guys. You guys need to carry this bait. So he's like, I'm on it. So
good.
He's working on it. So
good deal.
I threw the beaver bug around a little bit yesterday.
It's a cool bait.
It is.
It's a really cool bait. It's unique. Nothing else like it. It's got a nice little thump to it too when you reel it in. If you got a little bit heavier jig head, it's got that little thump to it.
Definitely gonna have some cool colors. So taking suggestions.
Oh, here we go, David.
Uh-oh.
Does Crocky Gator have any secret new baits that they are currently working on?
Between 5 and 20.
Yeah, there's
That's
a few
all.
in the works. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
Lots of good stuff.
Me and Connor talk not daily, but every other day or so, working on some stuff. Absolutely.
Cool. So the future's bright.
Absolutely. Working on
Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Ron had the same problem with the fish running from the bait today. Yeah, I couldn't even get a dang crappie to bite. I would slow rolling that underspin out over deep brush piles, and they'd follow it, and then they just slow down.
What size bait were you using?
That 3.5.
Maybe a little big.
Dude, the last 2 times that I've tried to do that, I've
Yeah.
caught them really good.
Have you
on
really?
it. Yeah. Maybe the water's a lot colder than it was.
Maybe I need bigger crappie jigs.
I don't know. They were just in a funk, because I was feeling really sad. I'm like, I'm not gonna catch a single thing. I need to go catch a crappie just so I can catch a fish. And they were even giving me the gas face.
C4. Will there be a full-size beaver bug like the swamp bug?
full-size beaver bug.
We can do whatever we want.
Joey says yes. That's a yes.
Yeah, so we purchased a machine.
Jason, can you have it by tomorrow?
So
Yes, we did. We got a Zorn machine, and if you guys know what that is, if you don't know what that is, it's what a big company like D&J Plastics would use to pour a massive amount of baits. So H2 bought one, and we are going to be able to pump out baits and crank out baits and laminate and swirl and do all kinds of fun stuff. So we're going to be able to send our guys out on tour with some really cool stuff, which I think Connor needs to talk about. Some of the places that he's heading and what his plans are.
I have that on the list of questions.
Oh, sorry.
So no, that's great. That's a good segue into it. So you're fishing the invitationals this year. That's a big step up, man. How you feeling about that? How's the planning and the preparation and all? That's coming up pretty fast.
Yeah,
see you guys.
All right, see you, buddy.
See you, dude. Yeah, so I just got back from Florida pre-practicing for the first one. So different world down there, but really liked what I saw. Had a good trip. So that was the one I'm most worried about. So feel good about it now. We're good. Ready to go. I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of grass, eh?
Yeah, and a long drive. Geez, I got back last night around 2 a.m. So long drive, about 20 hours from where I live. So other than that, it was awesome.
Thank God you have this
like
really
9 degrees whenever I left Missouri early last week and got down there, and it was like in the 80s. So
man,
got a nice sunglass tan line working on right here. So
looking good, man.
Yeah,
that means you've been working.
that's right. Trying to.
We really hate that for you, by the way.
Yeah,
I know. You should feel bad for me. Get the violin out.
How's navigation down there? Any problems?
The lake's actually, I think 3 foot high right now, so it wasn't bad at all. You can pretty much run wherever you want. There's a couple areas you got to kind of look out for, but yeah, it's the lake's high right now, so you're good. But yeah, no mapping or anything really helps either. It's just a big bowl-shaped lake, pretty much, with hardly any contour at all. There's a rock reef that runs across the middle of the lake that you'd have to watch out for if it was a couple of foot lower. But other than that, it's not bad at all.
What about your travel partners and your lodging partners? You got that all lined up?
Yeah, pretty much. It looks like it's gonna be me and one other guy. We're gonna keep it simple like that. And yeah, another Missouri guy. So we're gonna go check it out and see what happens.
Cool. Well, that's gonna be exciting, man. That is.
Yep.
Definitely gonna.
That's kind of how I roll anyway. I usually just stay by myself somewhere so I don't get wrapped up in the dock talk. So
yeah,
I'd rather it be that way anyway. I know it's kind of weird, but whatever.
We can get lost really fast and all that. I mean, you get sideways real fast, get spun out, had a good plan, and it could go to hell in a handbasket real quick. So
absolutely, I feel like the way to win those kind of tournaments is to find something no one else figured out. So if you're rolling 4 deep, going all these places, and you're all trading ideas, that's great and everything, and probably be way more consistent doing that. But I think, if you just stick to what you know and fish your strengths, I know it's a really cliche thing to say, but I feel like that's when, you set yourself up to potentially win a tournament or sometimes finish last. But I want to win some and put some trophies on the wall here. So that's what we're going to try to do.
Have you had much experience fishing grass?
Nope, not at all.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole different world, but, I like it. A lot of the fish are, obviously on Lake Okeechobee, they're always shallow. I think the deepest part of the lake's like 16 foot and out on the rim ditch in the middle of the lake, I think it's like 12 foot is the deepest I saw. And that's with the lake 3 foot high. So, on a grass lake like that, they're shallow, and that's how I like to fish. I know you're talking about catching one 70 some odd feet deep, but I really don't really care to fish that way. So I like the fact that it keeps fish shallow and lets you use big line and stuff. So
I'd much rather catch them in 2 foot of water than
90.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
My bait gets there a lot
cool
faster.
down there. You'd see a fish like wake your bait from like 6 or 7 foot away. I don't know how they see it from that far away, but it was pretty fun fishing.
Did you catch any giants?
Shallow stuff goes. Do what?
Did you catch any giants?
Not really. So they just had a cold front, and their idea of a cold front's like 40 degrees at night. So it cooled the water temperature off. So they weren't very active when I first got there. But of course, about the time I left, they were getting pretty active. And so that kind of closed the door on some really big ones. But we caught some nice ones that, go a long way in a tournament. So
there you go. Yeah, those Florida strainers.
When we go back, it'll be nice and warm, and the big ones will bite.
Those Florida strains are terrible when it comes to cold weather.
No doubt about it.
10 degrees and
dirty water
and shut off completely.
Yep. It's completely opposite of what you'd want in Missouri. It seems like, here we all get excited when you have a day that it's nasty, rainy, cloudy, all that stuff. Our fish here bite, but down there, that's exactly opposite of what you want. You want a day where it's sunny with no wind at all. Was my experience in the 3 times I fished in Florida. So
Bluebird slick is our worst.
Backwards, yep.
Our worst day.
Yeah, absolutely. The day you would absolutely cringe. Oh man, I got to go fish. The conditions look terrible here. That's what you want down there.
Yeah, and even the colors. Like Florida's notoriously June bug or black and blue is like a notorious color in Florida, even in that really clear water. Around here, yep. Black and blue still works, but we always think like green pumpkin. But down there, those darker colors seem to work better, and I guess that's got to do with the forage that's swimming around in that grass
and the tannic water.
I'd say it's that, and the fact I think a darker bait stands out better. If when you do find some clean water there, if you throw like a white bait in the water, it kind of makes it look kind of like a coffee color almost. It makes it kind of have a red tint to it with that tannic water. And I think that's when like your June bug sticks out really well, which is funny you mentioned that because I absolutely hate that color for fishing here at home. But down there, they for sure like it. So like I said, it's completely opposite of here, it seems like, including June bug.
We have a lake that around here, a small lake that's got tannic water in it in Missouri, and it's June bug is a killer there.
The goggle eye and the crappie are really dark in that lake. It's a really clear. You can see the bottom, and the lake's only Most of the lake's like 5 foot deep,
Yeah.
you know, but it's all grass and cypress trees and lily pads and super clear water. But the crappie and the goggle eye and stuff are really black. So June bug is a really popular color on that lake. So you mentioned you're going to the Let's Go Fishing show. You got anything else on the agenda, Joey, coming up as far as fishing shows?
We are going to do, we'll be at the Let's Go Fishing show. And for people that don't know, like you can get on their website and they have like coupons on there to like buy one kid, get one free. So you can go on those websites and check out like stuff like that.
They're selling kids? Buy one kid, you get one free?
I buy one entry for a kid, get one free.
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry.
Okay.
And then we are doing the East Tennessee show, and we're doing that with Baitworks.
I got it. Nobody else got it.
I don't know. I was just, it was funny to me. So
What?
sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What?
No,
are you making fun of me?
No, I'm making fun of myself for the
joke.
buy one kid, get one kid free type of joke.
Connor's
it was
just
funny to
stone-faced
me.
back
It was
there. He
funny to
doesn't
me.
even,
Yeah.
doesn't even laugh.
Anyway.
Connor's tired of hearing me talking. That's what he's tired of. So then we're going to do the East Tennessee show, which is at the end of January. We'll be in Baitworks booth for that, which I'm really excited about that one because I want to meet. So Michael Neal, he started carrying our product out in his store on Lake Chickamauga, and I want to meet him. I haven't got to meet him yet, and I called him, and he said he'd be at that show. So I'm super excited to meet him. That's one thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to go around and meet some people. And then I am actually going down to Okeechobee as well. I'm going to fly down there and watch the guys fish, since we do have 4 dudes that are going into the MLF. It's pretty exciting. So my idea is like I'm going to hit up that little Roland Martin's what does he have there? Like a little tiki bar? Is like a little tiki bar there? What is that place, Connor? What is that like? Like, is it like a?
I don't know.
What is it like?
It's just a tiki bar. Got a restaurant there. Yep.
It's a little restaurant.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So I'm picturing myself totally sitting there with Roland Martin like all week long, chilling. Probably not going to happen, but you never know.
That sounds fun.
If it happens, I will go live and show everybody that I hung out with Roland Martin all week. So.
I'm sure you will.
Remember? Aw, Jim.
Some good words right there.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Jim.
He's the best.
I appreciate that.
Jim is the one. Okay, so I was, I don't know where I was, but I don't know where I was when Jim texted me and said, "Hey, you really need to go after this dude. His name's Connor Cunningham. You really need to go after him. You need to get him on your pro staff." So I reached out to this person, which is sitting right in front of me. And I send him this long message like, "Hey, this is Joey with Crocky Gator." And I'm like using like emojis, like, and like, you know, my name Joey. So he's like super confused, right? So he's like, "Man, this Joey guy, he's totally thinking I'm a dude, right?"
Like, yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like, smiley face, like hearts, like, "Hey, you should come join my team," you know? Like,
That's funny.
so he's like, "What does something like that look like?" Asking all the right questions. So I respond to him. I don't hear anything back from him for a really long time. So we were out in Colorado and we were skiing, and I was taking one of my world famous naps, and it just so happened that I think he might have, did you call or did you message me? I can't remember. Either way, when we finally got on the phone, I think he was really freaked out that I was a girl.
Yeah.
I asked for Joey, and then you were like, "This is Joey." No, I was like, "I'm going to hang up now."
Yep. Yeah, I think several people have thought the same thing.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. All the time. Everywhere I go. Your name's Joey? You're Joey? Yeah, I'm Joey. I am. So I think most people think a guy's running this tackle shop or this tackle business, but it's me. I'm Joey. So yeah.
They know now. Everybody knows.
They know now.
That's right. So let's you want to give away some stuff, maybe?
Well, before we came on, somebody said they had a really good story.
Yeah.
It's actually not that great, so it's just funny.
Wait, hold on.
So-
What kind of story is this?
It's a Sasquatch story.
You have a Sasquatch story.
Sasquatch story.
I have a Sasquatch story.
Excellent.
We
love.
Did you notice the other day?
Sasquatch stories.
Sorry, off topic. I had my Sasquatch socks on when we went down to.
Did you really?
I did.
Sneaky. You didn't
Nobody
even show 'em to
even
me.
noticed.
I didn't even see them. You should have pulled your.
I did a
pants
couple
up.
times in the meeting. I was like sitting back and I had them rolled up. Nobody paid attention.
Ah,
So
disappointed.
That's
I
a
know.
very difficult word to say.
Sasquatch. Well, that's why they made up the word Bigfoot, because that's a lot easier to say.
that's exactly right.
I think Sasquatch is the
Yes.
Indian version of it.
Much easier to say.
Yeah.
So,
So-
are people putting in numbers yet?
Oh,
They are.
absolutely.
Yeah, they're
Oh, they
hammered.
are?
Yeah.
Where do you see that? Like, can you
Rapid
see it on
fire.
the
Just
side?
wait.
It'll start showing up.
Here they come.
Start showing up. So what's the
first
story?
time
We gotta have the story. Come on.
the first time I ever saw a Sasquatch was in Springfield, Missouri. I was sitting at this restaurant, this Mexican restaurant, and then all of a sudden, this Sasquatch walked in.
What was he eating? What do you order?
What did he order?
What did you order?
A
I
burrito?
think maybe I can't remember.
What does Sasquatches eat? Anyway?
Chicken, cheese,
What
and
did
rice.
you
Yeah, they
eat,
eat chicken, cheese, and
Connor?
rice.
Fajitas.
What were you eating, Connor?
I probably a quesadilla. I'm a big quesadilla guy.
You're the Sasquatch?
He's
I
the
guess I
Sasquatch.
am.
Yeah.
Are you like 6'7"?
I mean, I guess I don't really see the resemblance, but I mean, sure.
Did you have your beard grown out or something?
You'll be Joey Sasquatch.
He's my Sasquatch. Yeah. So did somebody pick the number yet?
We have a winner. We have a wiener.
What?
Like in the first 32 seconds.
Yeah. Sometimes
Are
it
you
takes 5
serious?
minutes. I guessed one the number I had the other night. Nobody guessed it.
When
it
I
went
wasn't
on-
here?
Yeah, it went on for like 5 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, finally
Just
we just did I can't remember what I did. I just did a completely different question. It was crazy. I don't know how it didn't happen, but I
Wow.
kept watching, and I really missed you the other night.
Yeah, I
because
know. I'm sorry.
Scrolling through all these numbers is like it messes with your eyes.
I had to
for
cook.
sure.
I had to cook for a bunch of people. So
Jason Hayes, congratulations! You
Please.
are the winner. Hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, or get a hold of Joey, either or, and she will get you taken care of.
I will. Definitely. Before you go though, Connor, which event are you most looking forward to fishing on tour?
Okeechobee. Throw a
Really?
weird one at you.
So why? What
That
makes
was
you
a
so
weird
excited
one.
about that one?
Because I
Just
caught
'cause
some
it's the
fish
best one?
down there. That's why. No, I don't know. It's just different. You know, I get kind of tired of fishing around like here. So completely different and a good challenge. So I'm looking forward to it. Got a chance at catching a, big one, probably more so than any other place. So
what time of the year is that one?
first week of February.
Needless to say, it's probably going to be like 2 degrees here.
Yeah.
And hopefully 80 something down there.
Yeah.
I
So
hope
they'll be
so.
shallow. What's your PB largemouth?
Probably like 8 pounds or so. I caught a pretty good one time in a pond actually around here, just pulling a bill dance. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't have a scale on me, but I got a picture of it, and which makes it even better because it could have even been bigger.
Exactly. It probably was bigger.
But
Absolutely.
the biggest one I ever caught in a tournament was like a 7.5 pounder or something.
So you potentially very easily could catch your PB in that tournament because there's a lot of 8-pounders, 9-pounders swimming around down there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, any cast, you can catch one.
So what are a couple other tournaments that you're looking forward to?
Man, I'm really looking forward to Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma. I fished there a couple times. And I really like, how those guys catch them there, spinner baiting and all that stuff. So it seems like that'll be the right time of year probably for that as well. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And, man, like I said, I'm looking forward to all of them, but especially that one.
Are you going to be fishing anything else, or are you just focusing on the invitationals?
I'm pretty much just focusing on that. My original plan was just to focus on, just those, but I had a good buddy of mine text me today talking about fishing some anglers in action. So we're going to hop on those as well.
Aren't you fishing those?
Yeah, I'm going to be fishing those too with my buddy Mike Marfell. So
sweet. I think we're going to fish a couple of the Lake of the Ozarks ones, and then I believe there's an April and May one on Table Rock that'll fit the tour schedule, be able to make it back for those. So we're going to hop in the open division and try to make the championship. So, yeah, looking forward to that. I really like fishing with the guy I'm fishing with. So, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and that's
there's such a big off limits period. I guess it's not really big as far as like tours, schedules go and all that, but it's like like Okeechobee, it goes off limits next, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. So it's a 30-day off limits period. So you got to have something else to fish in between instead of just setting at home, So
that's what I was thinking. You don't want to get rusty.
Fish, the sharper you'll be. So that's the plan.
100%.
So once that ends too, so like in July, so like I'm looking at my schedule here that I have highlighted of events that I'm going to. It's actually right in the middle of July. So ICAST is right in the middle of July. And we are so going to take the toad down there and try to win bait of the year. So if you look at some of the past like winners, like I just feel like they don't even come close to what Connor came up with. So like last year's was I think I have it saved on my phone. Plus, we're going to add that. We're going to add that to probably some more baits just to solidify the fact that that is our patent and our mold. Like nobody else can use that. But like, yeah, if you were to look up some past winners, I think you would be pretty surprised at some stuff that won. And I think that the bait that he came up with is going to give it a run for its money. So we're going to take it down to ICAST this year.
Well, I don't know exactly how all the ICAST categories work on that, but I know some of the more popular ICAST winning baits have been like not so much functional, more just for looks, and they're really artsy fartsy. But and in my opinion,
that is interesting that you said that, because I think my brother-in-law Justin said something about like 2 categories, and I think that was one of them was something about like I guess like the way you use it, or like the way it looks, and then like the use of it or whatever. I don't know. He said something like that. I don't know. I wasn't really listening, but he said you probably have like 2 categories that you could jump into. And I think it's definitely something that not a lot of people have seen. No one's seen anything like it. So we're going to give it a go. We're taking it down there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, might as well. Good luck. I mean, it's a great bait, and I'd like to see something more functional win versus something that just looks pretty.
I agree. Right.
Yeah.
Like something that kind of like it's a total game changer. Why? I mean, like, what's not to love about it? It's a great bait.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's pretty too. Come on now.
It is pretty. It is pretty. But I think like a dragonfly won one time. That
dragonfly won like a lily pad or something crazy.
Yeah, and there's been some non-functional baits that won.
Imagine trying to cast that
shape like that, getting ready to come out, right, Joe?
What'd you say?
You said something about a dragonfly.
Lord help us.
Inside
Yes.
joke.
Stay tuned. It's going to be good.
Stay tuned. Try going over dragonfly anatomy with Connor.
Hey, dragonflies, you got to pay attention to those dragonflies. There's some days when in the summertime where those dragonflies are hot and heavy on the grass. And
I'm sorry,
it's
I
time
was
to start
reading
throwing
comments.
it's time to start throwing some kind of topwater bait when that happens.
Throw it out there.
Throw it out. So what else we got? Anything else you guys want to touch on before we wrap this sucker up?
Stuff that I probably can't say, but everybody does just need to really pay attention because there's going to be some stuff coming out like quick, like fast.
Okay.
So guys definitely need to pay attention for sure.
Your website looks good too, by the way. It's nice and clean. You got the pictures and the names. It scrolls really well. Some
shout
websites are kind of janky.
Shout out to Jacob Welch with Baitworks.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He's on our pro staff, so I had him jump on there and clean it up a bunch. So little sweets out there.
He did a good job. Looks good.
You can call him Sweets too if you want. I came up with that name.
I don't know him that well yet. So yeah.
He's very sweet, isn't he, Connor?
Oh yeah.
Chris said you did a great job doing the
Who's
marathon.
Chris J?
Chris J said good job.
Chris J. Thanks. Thank you. I was extremely nervous. Oh my God. This is scary. Like talking to people.
What's up, Mike?
Mike Russell, Joey. Oh, I'll see him in East Tennessee.
Yeah, he's been painting up some baits.
Yes, he has.
I think he was going to paint like 2,000 baits or something ridiculous.
So hold on. We kind of grazed over this. Collinsville, Let's Go Fishing show, right? Let's Go Fishing, right?
Yes, the Let's Go Fishing show. Yeah, it is this weekend. So, Connor, you're going to be up here Thursday night and Friday. He's going to work it Friday. Saturday, my sister Jessica, and then Kyle Hopping will be there. And then Sunday, Randy Conlon is coming up from Springfield, and he's going to work the show with me. Connor said something about coming back up, but I think he's tired of traveling.
That's a long trek.
Connor's tired of driving, which I totally get.
You going to be there all 3 days, Joey?
I'm going to be there I'll be there all 3 days plus like setup day. Ugh.
Yeah.
But next year we so it was kind of last minute. Like last year we decided to do the show when we were in Fitz's booth. And I told them that I didn't want to do it this year. And then at the last minute I changed my mind. So we're in our own booth this year. But next year we'll be with Fitz again. We'll be out in their booth.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we're going to have our own little booth this year.
Did it sell out this year? Is there going to be a lot of folks there?
I think it's going to be huge. And the reason why I think it's going to be huge is because I think it's going to be big because Brandon Polinick is like, I feel like he just like skyrocketed this year when he had like that whole like crew of people following him around. He made like this big show and like he had a lot going on this year. So I think that like people are really going to want to come see him. So, and of course they're going to want to come see Connor, right?
That's the biggest draw.
Yep.
Biggest draw ever. But I do actually think it's going to be bigger and better than last year. Last year, I think people were still a little freaked out about COVID. So I think that this year it's going to be like, it's going to be big. I think it's going to be big.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Brandon's been there a couple times. Last time I was at that show, Brandon was there. So
yeah, I know.
So anybody that's out there watching Collinsville Sports Show, go check it out. The Let's Go Fishing Show in Collinsville.
Are you going?
I think I am. I am.
You should come up there and hang out with us.
I probably will. I'm leaning
come
really
up,
heavily towards it.
Are you working Friday? You should come up and hang out with Connor and I.
I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So I'm looking at the weather forecast. If the weather is like really cold and miserable, I'm definitely coming up one day.
It typically feels like it's always snows the weekend of the Let's Go Fishing Show, but it doesn't look like it's going to snow. So
that's always a good thing though, because that means everybody wants to get inside. The last couple times that I went, it snowed.
Whether it snows or not, but
as long as it's not a blizzard.
Yeah. It snowed like the day before. It was just miserably cold out. So
it's not going to be a blizzard. You can make it. You'll make it.
Tom says, "Good luck in the invitationals, Connor."
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
He's going to go kick some butt out there. He's going to do great.
Yeah. I'll be following, man. I'm always rooting for the hometown boys. Anybody that's been on the live stream that's spent an evening with us, I mean, I'm behind them 100%. It's good to see people out there.
There's a ton of Midwest guys fishing in it.
There is. There really is. It's neat to see.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
So. Hold on. Somebody reminded me here. You got something special for this weekend too, right? That, like, you're just releasing a new shirt.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we just they just came back in. Yeah.
So Gabe says don't sell out before on Friday.
They won't. I'm sure they won't. There'll be enough shirts. What size is he?
I don't know.
Maybe I need to put one back for him. Do you know who this person is?
I do, but I don't want to embarrass him.
He says schmedium. He wears a schmedium. A schmedium. Yeah, he needs a schmedium.
Okay. Also, we will release that Don Carroll worm, the DC worm, and it does have a little bit of a. You'll want to see it too because it has a little bit. The tail's not the exact same. We do plan to make one with that tail, but this tail is a little bit different. So people can come and find out at the show.
So you're going to have those at the show?
Mm-hmm. We'll have those at the show.
Excellent.
What day you think of coming?
I don't know. I think I'm going to test drive a Highlander with my wife on Friday. We've been down a car for a couple months. And we were waiting for the new year for personal property tax reasons to buy a vehicle. So I think we're going to do some test driving Friday, but I don't know how long that's going to happen. I don't know if we're actually going to purchase, what the whole plan is. So I don't know. I'm not sure which day. It may be Saturday. It may not be.
Saturday is going to be wild and crazy, I think. And then I think Sunday will be a little bit more tame. But
any hats at the booth?
I don't think so. No, they didn't sell very well last year. I'm only bringing the stuff that's sold. I'm not bringing. Watch for Harold and Kumar.
That's classic. That's a funny movie. It's been a long time.
I've never seen that movie.
You should watch it. It's funny. Watch it. Don't watch it with the kids.
I actually don't like funny movies.
Oh, well, then you wouldn't want to watch that.
I'm never going to watch it. Ever.
Ever. Okay.
But yeah, I think that kind of covers it all. But if you come up Sunday, you can kick it with me and Randy Conlon.
That's the day that I can come up.
Sunday?
Super cool dude.
We'll have to do that. Yeah, I'd like to meet Randy. I mean, I've met him once down at Boatworks. But it was
he's definitely got a heart of gold. He
does a lot.
A really great guy.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yep. Let's wrap this up. It's been a great stream. Learned a lot of new products, a lot of dream chasing from both of you guys, and wish everybody the best in the future. Thanks for coming on and spending the evening with us. And
No
probably
problem.
see you guys this weekend, most likely.
Definitely.
One of
I
those
hope
days
so.
for sure.
I hope so.
So any closing thoughts or any shout outs or anything before we wrap it up?
Not from me.
Thanks
I
for
got
having us
nothing.
on. Always good coming on here.
Yeah, it's good to hang out with you again, man.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
all right, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us this evening. And we
might see you this weekend.
We do this every Monday. So we'd love to see you back on here next Monday. Same time, same place. And we are out of here. Peace.